him. They are going insane. How the hell did you know? This is the question that will echo in the minds of many when you stand tall, calm, and unshaken while everything around you seems chaotic. There is a power that comes from a mind trained to see beyond noise and distraction. It is not about magic or luck. It is about discipline, focus, and a deep awareness of what is happening around you. People will wonder how you stay ahead, how you predict, how you act before anyone else can even think. The answer is simple but not easy. You have trained yourself to notice what others ignore. You have sharpened your senses so much that nothing slips past you. When you walk into a room, you are not rushing. You are breathing, watching, feeling. The smallest details become your guide. A shift in someone's tone, a glance that others dismiss, a hesitation in a step. These are your teachers. They tell you things words cannot. And when you gather these small pieces of information, your mind forms a picture that others cannot see. That is why when they finally understand, it is already too late. You have already moved. You have already decided. This ability does not come overnight. It is built by showing up every day when no one is watching, by being patient when others are restless, by training your mind when others are chasing distractions. It comes from understanding that mastery is born in silence and grows in stillness. Many people think strength is loud. True strength is quiet. It watches, it listens, it prepares. Awareness is your greatest weapon. Notice what others miss. This simple truth has the power to change everything in your life. Think about it. In every environment, whether it is at work, in relationships, or even in competitive spaces, there are countless signals around you. Most people are too distracted, too busy talking, too consumed by their own noise to notice them. But you can be different. When you choose to slow down and truly observe, the world reveals itself to you in ways most will never experience. It is not about having supernatural abilities. It is about being fully present. Awareness is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. When you walk into a room, you can feel the energy if you are paying attention. You can sense who is confident and who is nervous, who is pretending and who is sincere. A subtle shift in body language, a slight change in voice, a quick glance to the side. These are details most people dismiss, but they are gold if you know how to read them. Awareness turns you into a quiet strategist. You are no longer reacting blindly. You are responding with intention. This is why people later wonder, how the hell did you know? They think it is intuition or luck. But it is simply the art of paying attention when others are asleep to their surroundings. To develop this, you must train your senses daily. Put your phone down and watch people. Listen to conversations, not just for the words, but for the pauses, the hesitations, the tone. Notice how someone's eyes tell a story their lips refuse to speak. Awareness makes you see what is hidden in plain sight. It makes you catch the tremor in a handshake, the shift in someone's mood, the opportunity that everyone else steps over because they are looking the other way. And with this, you gain an advantage. Not because you are faster or stronger, but because you are present. This kind of awareness does not only apply to people. It applies to life itself. Opportunities, challenges, and solutions are everywhere, but only for the ones who can see them. Imagine standing in a storm while everyone is running in panic, and you are calmly noticing a path they overlooked. That path is there for everyone, but only awareness allows you to walk it. This is why you seem to always know the right move. You have trained your mind to focus on reality, not on noise. The beauty of awareness is that it feeds patience. When you are aware, you do not rush. You do not force. You let things unfold because you already know where they are going. Others will think you have inside information or some hidden advantage, but all you have is clarity. Awareness gives you that clarity because you are connected to what is happening now, not trapped in past mistakes or worried about what could happen later. This practice of awareness demands humility. You must accept that you do not know everything, and that is why you must watch and listen more than you speak. The quiet person often learns the most because they are absorbing information, while others are leaking it through constant chatter. When you make awareness a habit, people begin to see something different in you. They cannot explain it, but they feel it. You give off an energy of someone who cannot be easily fooled or surprised. Over time, this skill changes your life. It makes you better at making decisions, better at handling pressure, and better at leading. When others doubt or panic, you remain steady because you are not guessing, you are observing. This steadiness creates respect and sometimes even fear because people realize you cannot be shaken. That is when they ask that question. They are going insane trying to understand how you knew. The answer is simple. You notice what they ignored, and that is why you were always one step ahead. Consistent discipline creates the power to predict outcomes. This is not just a phrase. It is a way of life for anyone who wants to move differently than the crowd. When you look at those who seem to know what others cannot, those who make moves before anyone else even notices, you will always find one thing in common. They have built themselves through daily, relentless discipline. This kind of discipline is not flashy. It is quiet, almost invisible, but it shapes everything. While others wait for motivation or luck, you create your own certainty by doing the work that nobody else wants to do. Every single day is an opportunity to sharpen your mind and prepare your body, but most people let it slip. They give in to laziness, distractions, comfort, and excuses. Discipline is the opposite of that. It is waking up and training your focus even when you feel tired. It is studying when everyone else is out wasting time. It is practicing the small skills again and again until they are second nature. It is saying no when temptation says yes. It is keeping promises to yourself even when nobody is watching. This is how you build something rare, an unshakable consistency that allows you to move with precision. Why does discipline give you the power to predict? Because when you stay consistent, you begin to see patterns that others cannot. The more you show up, the more you understand what works and what does not. Think of an athlete who practices the same move thousands of times. They no longer guess, their body just knows. Think of a strategist who studies the game every day. They can see a move coming before it even happens. This is not magic, it is repetition. Discipline gives you the ability to recognize small changes, tiny shifts, because you have been there so many times before. That is why others call it instinct when it is really preparation. The hardest part is that discipline often feels lonely. No one celebrates your quiet hours of effort. No one claps for you when you choose to work instead of wasting time. But this loneliness is where greatness is born. You are stacking wins, building strength, and preparing for the moments that will matter. The day will come when everyone else will be surprised by your speed, your insight, your calm, and they will say, "How the hell did you know?" They do not see the early mornings, the long nights, the sacrifices. They only see the result. Discipline also builds trust within yourself. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you prove you can rely on you. This creates confidence that cannot be faked. When you have trained for hours, studied deeply, practiced relentlessly, you move with certainty because you know you have paid the price. Others panic because they did not prepare. They freeze because they doubt themselves. But you act because you trust the work you have done. That is why discipline is so powerful. It turns uncertainty into opportunity. Another thing about discipline is that it protects your energy. When you are consistent, you stop wasting time on things that do not matter. You know what to focus on. You know when to rest, when to push, when to strike. Your mind stays clear because you have eliminated distractions. This clarity is rare, and it shows in your actions. People think you are lucky, but in truth, You are simply prepared while they are unprepared. When you combine awareness with discipline, something extraordinary happens. You begin to see what others miss and act on it before they even realize it was there. And it all starts with a choice to show up every day no matter how you feel, to do the work even when no one sees, to become unshakable when everyone else is fragile. So when the question comes, when they go insane trying to figure it out, the answer will always be the same. You were disciplined when they were not, and that is why you knew. Silence sharpens the mind while noise blinds the unfocused. In a world where everyone is rushing to speak, to post, to react, the one who knows when to remain silent has the advantage. Silence is not weakness, it is power. It is the place where your mind can breathe and your senses can open. When there is noise all around, people become distracted, they miss signals, they fail to see what is right in front of them. But when you train yourself to be still, to listen rather than always speak, you begin to notice the things that others never will. Silence is a tool that clears the fog and allows you to see patterns that noise hides. Most people cannot handle silence. They fear it because it forces them to face themselves, their thoughts, their insecurities. But for those who embrace it, silence becomes the strongest weapon. It is in silence that you observe. You watch how people move, how they react, how they reveal themselves without knowing. When others are too busy filling the space with words, you are collecting information, building understanding, sharpening your instincts. That is why later when you act, people are shocked. They wonder how the hell you knew, but all you did was remain silent long enough to see what they could not. Silence also trains your mind to stay calm under pressure. Noise feeds panic. It creates confusion and pushes people to rush decisions. But when you are silent, you create space. In that space, your mind can slow down, process, and choose wisely. This ability makes you look unshakable. While others are reacting emotionally, you are calculating, you are patient, you are waiting for the right moment to move. And when you do, it feels effortless. Even though it is the result of disciplined observation, the key is to make silence your habit. Do not rush to speak in every conversation. Do not reveal everything you know. Let people talk. Let them show their strengths and their weaknesses. The more they speak, the more you learn. This is how silence becomes your ally. It keeps you from unnecessary conflict, and it protects your energy. It stops you from wasting words on things that do not matter. Instead, your words and actions become rare and precise, and that is why they have impact. Think about how silence works in nature. The hunter is quiet before the strike. The most powerful storms build in stillness before they release their force. The greatest decisions are made in quiet moments, away from the noise of the crowd. When you apply this to your life, you become dangerous in the best way. People expect noise, but you give them stillness. They expect reaction, but you give them patience. That contrast surprises them and makes your moves unpredictable. Another gift of silence is that it deepens awareness. When you are silent, your senses heighten. You hear more, you see more, you feel more. Small shifts in behavior, subtle tones in voice, unspoken feelings, they all become visible to you. This is how you begin to predict outcomes. You can sense tension before it explodes. You can feel opportunity before others even know it exists. Silence clears the noise so that reality can speak to you. There will be times when people try to draw you into their chaos. They will want you to argue, to defend, to explain. But silence often speaks louder than words. By saying nothing, you keep your power. You are not dragged into their storm. You remain the calm in the center. And that calmness is what makes people wonder. They are going insane trying to figure out how you knew, how you stayed ahead, how you stayed steady. The truth is simple. You chose silence when they chose noise, and that silence made you see what they could not. Observation turns small details into major advantages. Most people live their lives seeing only what is obvious, missing the quiet signals that reveal everything. When you learn to truly observe, you step into a world where nothing is random and everything is information. The smallest glance, the shift in someone's tone, the way their hands move, the pace of their walk, the way they pause before speaking. All these tiny cues carry meaning. And while others are rushing, distracted, or too absorbed in their own noise, you are collecting these small fragments and turning them into knowledge that gives you power. This is why people later ask, "How the hell did you know?" They believe it is intuition, but it is simply the skill of paying attention. Observation is about slowing down when the world is moving fast. It is the opposite of reacting blindly. It means taking in the entire room before you move, listening to words but also to what is not being said. You learn to see beneath the surface, to read the currents that flow quietly under people's actions. When someone says they are fine, but their shoulders are tense, you notice. When someone claims confidence, but avoids eye contact, you notice. When someone is hiding something, their habits, their silence, their energy will always betray them. These details are invisible to those who are not trained to see, but to you, they are clear signs. To build this level of observation, you must practice. It does not happen by accident. It starts by removing distraction. Put your phone away, clear your mind, and look at the world like a student of life. Watch the way people interact. Notice the small patterns. Who speaks first? Who hesitates? Who dominates? Who withdraws? Observation gives you the blueprint of a situation before you make a move. And when you act, it seems almost magical to those who were blind to the signs. Observation is not just about people, it is about everything. In your work, in your environment, in your own mind, details matter. The project others say failed suddenly makes sense to you because you saw the missing step. The opportunity others thought was luck was clear to you because you noticed the gap. The solution everyone struggled with became obvious because you were watching closely. This is the kind of awareness that changes outcomes. The power of observation is also about patience. You do not rush to speak, you do not rush to act, because every second of watching teaches you something new. The more patient you are, the more the world reveals itself. And when you finally move, you do so with confidence because you have seen everything you needed to see. This is why calmness and observation often go together. You are not guessing, you are responding to evidence others ignored. Observation gives you control. It allows you to stay ahead because nothing surprises you. You have already noticed the signals before they turned into events. You already saw the mistake forming before it became a disaster. Others think you predict the future, but you are simply watching the present closely enough to know where it leads. This skill turns life into a map instead of a maze. This is why people go insane trying to understand how you always seem to know, how you always seem prepared. They cannot see what you saw because they were not looking. They were moving too fast, speaking too much, thinking too shallowly. You were still, quiet and watching. When you combine awareness, discipline, silence, and sharp observation, you become the person who knows before others do. And when the moment comes, you will not need to explain. They will already know they missed something you saw, and that is why you were ahead. Calmness under pressure makes others lose control. When everyone around you is rushing, shouting, or panicking, the person who stays steady becomes the one people watch. Calmness is not about ignoring what is happening. It is about mastering yourself so that no situation can dictate your actions. Imagine walking into a room where energy is tense, voices are raised, and decisions need to be made. While others are consumed by fear or stress, you slow down. You breathe. You see things more clearly than they do because your mind is not drowning in noise. This calm presence gives you power. It makes you the anchor in a storm. It is the reason why later, People will shake their heads and say, "How the hell did you know?" Pressure reveals character. When everything is comfortable, anyone can appear confident. But when things get tough, when time is short, when mistakes are costly, that is when most people break. They start guessing, they rush decisions, they freeze, or they overreact. Calmness under pressure is different. It is not about moving slowly, it is about moving with purpose. It is choosing to focus on what matters instead of being trapped in emotion. This does not come naturally. It comes from training your mind to stay centered. You practice this every day when challenges come. You remind yourself that chaos cannot control you unless you allow it. When you are calm, you become the observer, not the victim. You watch how people behave, how situations unfold. You notice the opportunities that others miss because they are too busy reacting. Calmness gives you the advantage of seeing 3 steps ahead because your mind is not clouded. Think about a chess player. The best ones are calm even when the board looks dangerous. They do not panic because panic leads to mistakes. They study the board, they plan, they execute, and they win. Life is no different. Calmness turns you into the player while others become the pieces. Another reason calmness is powerful is because it influences others. Your energy affects the room. If you panic, others panic with you. But if you remain composed, people feel it. They trust you more. They listen to you. They believe you know something they do not. Even if you are figuring things out as you go, calmness creates confidence. This is why leaders are expected to stay steady, because their calmness brings clarity to chaos. When everyone else is losing control, your stillness becomes their guide. There is also strength in restraint. Calmness keeps you from saying words you will regret, from making moves you cannot undo, from wasting energy on what does not matter. It allows you to conserve your strength for the moments that truly matter. While others are exhausting themselves emotionally, you are gathering energy and waiting for the right moment to act. This is why calm people often seem lucky or intelligent. They simply wait until everyone else has revealed their weaknesses. The truth is, calmness is not natural for most people because pressure triggers emotions, but it can be trained. Start small. Learn to breathe when you feel tension. Pause before you respond. Remind yourself that emotion is temporary, but your decisions are permanent. Over time, this practice builds an inner stillness that nothing can shake. And when you face bigger challenges, that stillness will protect you. In the end, calmness under pressure does something rare. It turns problems into opportunities. It makes you the one who stands tall while others collapse. And it makes people wonder how you knew what to do when everything was falling apart. The truth is simple. You stayed calm while they lost control, and that calmness revealed what they could not see. The one who stays patient always moves before the crowd. Patience is often misunderstood. Many think it is about waiting without action, but true patience is active. It is watching, learning, and preparing while others rush, panic, or act without thought. When you are patient, you are not being lazy, you are collecting information, refining your timing, and positioning yourself for the perfect moment. It is like water flowing quietly, carving its path over time, or a seed growing beneath the soil before it breaks the surface. Those who cannot wait miss opportunities because they are too eager to be seen. Those who are patient, however, act with precision. And when they move, it looks like they knew something no one else did. Patience is power because it gives you control over yourself. Most people are slaves to urgency. They want instant answers, immediate results, quick recognition. They act on impulse, and in doing so, they reveal their weaknesses. Patience keeps you steady. It allows you to observe how situations unfold, how people react, how patterns form. When you wait, you give yourself the chance to see the whole board instead of just one piece. And when you finally move, it feels almost unfair to those who were rushing. They think you are lucky or gifted. But the truth is you were simply patient enough to see what they missed. This ability to wait is connected to all the other strengths: awareness, discipline, silence, observation, calmness, and preparation. Patience is the thread that ties them together. You cannot observe deeply if you are rushing. You cannot prepare properly if you are impatient. You cannot remain calm if you believe everything must happen now. Patience gives you time to sharpen your senses, to practice your skills, to gather the knowledge you need. Each quiet moment of patience is an investment, and when the right time comes, it pays back far more than you gave. Think about moments of pressure. When chaos hits, people make fast moves to feel in control. They make promises, they panic, they speak too soon. The patient person watches all this unfold. They see the mistakes others make. They notice the gaps that open. They allow people to show their hands before revealing their own. This is why the patient person can act with such impact. Because by the time they move, they already know what needs to be done. Patience also protects your energy. When you are not rushing, you are not wasting strength on meaningless actions. You are conserving your focus for what truly matters. And when the moment arrives, you are ready, sharp, and unstoppable. Others are tired, burned out, and drained because they spent everything too early. You are fresh because you waited. That freshness gives you an edge that cannot be faked. There will be times when patience feels uncomfortable. You may see people getting ahead, celebrating, moving faster than you. But remember, speed without direction often leads to nowhere. The patient person is like an archer who waits for the right wind, the right alignment, and then releases the arrow. That single shot often hits where 100 rushed shots could not. The key is to trust the process. Trust that waiting with purpose is not wasting time, it is building strength. And when the time comes, when you finally act, it will look effortless. The crowd will wonder how you knew when to move, how you always seem to be one step ahead. They will not understand the quiet hours of watching, the self-control it took to wait, the discipline it took to stay still. But you will know. And you will smile, because patience gave you the power to move at the perfect time. In the end, patience is not slow, it is precise. It is the reason why your actions carry weight while others are scattered. And when people are going insane trying to figure it out, they will realize too late that you stayed patient while they rushed. And that is why you always knew when to move. When you bring all of these points together, you see a clear truth. The ones who rise above are not the ones who move the fastest, but the ones who move with intention. Awareness, discipline, silence, observation, calmness, preparation, and patience. These are not separate skills, they are pieces of one mindset. A mindset that watches while others are distracted, that builds while others waste, that stays steady while others break. When people wonder how you knew, when they are confused by how you always seem ready, the answer will always be the same. You chose to see what they did not, to work when they would not, and to wait when they could not. Carry this with you in everything you do. Do not rush. Do not chase noise. Trust the hours you put in when no one is watching, and believe in the strength that grows in stillness. When your moment comes, you will not need to explain. Your actions will speak for you. Good luck to you on your journey. Stay patient, stay sharp, and stay true to the work. Thank you for listening.